Hi, this is Tony. I'm a music teacher here. I decided to do a sort of a music theory analysis video. I just actually really just felt inspired by it, but wanted to do a music theory analysis video on the song "Crying" by Roy Orbison. Song I heard many, many years ago when I was younger, and I think I heard it on the radio or somewhere recently, and I kind of looked it up, and I've always liked the song. Even though I'd forgotten about it for probably well over a decade. But I took a look at the song and I just felt inspired to do a video about it. So I wrote it down here, or rather, I wrote down the chord progression here. If you were to look at a lead sheet, I also wrote out just a few different things here. But the song is in the key of D. Now, some people might be asking, well, it sounds like it's in a minor key, and there's a reason for that. One of the tricks to make a major song sound like it's in minor is to go from the one chord down to the minor three chord. So, and this is all everything here is diatonic. If you look at the sheet music, there's no accidentals, or rather, there's nothing. I mean, they're basically in scale the entire song. So everything is diatonic here. So here you have, it's interesting. Well, I'm sorry, I stand corrected. There's two instances where they go out of key, but here you have, they start off in D, of course, the one chord, right, and they go to a D augmented. And then they go to G, and then G minor, A, and A7. So obviously the D augmented and the G minor are not diatonic chords in the D major scale, but A7 is. So here in the chorus is where it sounds minor. You're going from the one chord to the minor three chord. Again, this is F sharp major, so it's diatonic, right? Again, a little trick if you want to make a major song sound like it's in a minor key, and so on. So one of the things that I thought that was interesting about this particular piece, and I'm a little rusty on this, I believe they use a technique called like word painting or whatever. But that's where you kind of do, what you're doing in the music. So for example, if you're singing about hills or valleys, you might be going up and down scales. In this case, he does something kind of interesting. I actually pulled up the lyrics here. So in the beginning, he sings, "I was all right," right? And then I was all right for a while. He says that. I didn't warm up, so I'm not going to try to sing too much. And then he says, "I could smile for a while," right? So he's singing the word while, but he's really stretching out the length of the notes there. Build up some tension, but I saw you last night. You held my hand so tight, right? So he's got some tension there with that D augmented chord. I don't know if you want to read too much into it, but held your hand so tight. So augmented chords want to resolve, right? And then he sings, "As you stopped," and then he literally stops the music to say hello, and then goes into G minor, which is not diatonic here. G chord should be a major chord, as you can see here, Roman numeral capitalized Roman numeral 4. Right? So he stops the music, "As you stop to say hello." I think it's interesting. He's singing hello, he's also hitting a low note too. So where else was there an instance? So, "Oh, you wish me," okay, so "Oh, you wish me well, you couldn't tell that I had been." This is interesting. So now we go into the chorus. He goes, "That I've been crying over you." So that sounds like a 6. Yeah, it's a major 6. It's a major 6 leap. So he's singing over, and maybe I'm reading into it too much, right? But he's making that major 6 leap. Over you, right? So I think that's interesting. And then he does something as well that he does in some of his other pieces. He definitely kind of builds up, he kind of crescendos it. So he repeats this verse, chorus, and he does the end, and it really starts to crescendo, right? I think if you look at, what's another song of his? If you look at "Running Scared," just running scared, right? Towards the end, he starts layering, more voices, so there's more stuff going on, then you got a choir going on, and then you have a change in dynamics, and that's kind of what's happening here as well. I don't think he does too much layering, but he definitely increases the overall level of dynamics of the piece here towards the end. So he does this thing where he goes into a pattern and then he breaks the pattern right, to really accentuate the end, while meanwhile the whole piece is starting to crescendo more and more. And so here we have an introduction of a B minor chord, which he didn't do before, right? So he keeps emphasizing the point of how bad this whole thing is. It's about some girl that he likes, but I guess they broke up or she doesn't like him back, and he's really sad about it. Whoops, let me get out of this here. So here at the end, G minor, I'll be crying. I'm not going to sing it. I'll be crying, crying, crying. I'm crying, D, and then crying, then B minor, right? And then G, A7, D, and then A7, and then D, and then G, and then D. Of course, you're going to end back on the 1 chord for resolution. There's another thing that I saw here that I'm trying to remember. I just had it in my head and then I forgot. So the other thing that he does, which I forgot to mention, the second chorus, he starts up an octave higher, right? So I'm going to sing it an octave lower because I'm not really warmed up, and he has a pretty good range. So he goes, I'm crying over you. And he goes, crying over you, right? So he jumps up an octave in the second time he does the chorus. This is just more for variety, so it doesn't, to maintain the listener's interest. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I was feeling really inspired. I hadn't heard the song in years, and I heard it, and I said, wow, I love this song. I haven't heard it in years. And, I picked up my guitar and started playing it, and then I noticed all these kind of cool things about it. And Roy Orbison, very, very talented songwriter. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, and feel free to leave comments below.